Imagine waking up and realizing years have passed. Your life hasn't changed much, and your dreams still feel very far away. You feel completely stuck in a rut. It feels like you are just going through your daily routine. You are waiting for something big to happen, but it never does. This is a common feeling. Have you ever wondered why this happens? Why do some people take bold steps to change their lives, while others just stay in the same place, unable to move? Today, we will talk about a silent problem. It might be stopping your success and happiness without you even knowing it. This hidden force is called passivity. Passivity is the habit of doing nothing while life continues around you. It's a quiet trap that prevents you from making the changes you know you really need. Most people never escape this trap, but you will. By the end of this, you will understand how passivity is holding you back and how to finally break free. The final insight is the most important one. It could be the key to a future filled with action, confidence, and a feeling that you can't be stopped. Passivity is a very destructive pattern. At first, it might not seem like a problem. It can even disguise itself as being patient or careful while you think. In reality, it is like a slow poison. It keeps you in jobs or relationships that don't make you happy. It lets fear control all your important decisions. Passivity convinces you that waiting is your best choice. But deep down inside, you know that taking action is the only thing that will actually move you forward. But where does this habit of passivity come from? Why are some people so active while others seem frozen, unable to take the steps they need to take? Psychologists have studied this for a long time. One of the best explanations comes from Martin Seligman, a founder of positive psychology. He called it learned helplessness. Learned helplessness explains how people become passive. It happens over time as they face negative situations that they feel they have absolutely no control over. In a famous experiment, Seligman gave dogs negative shocks they couldn't escape. Eventually, the dogs just stopped trying to get away, even when an escape path was provided. The same thing can happen to people. After we experience failure or rejection many times, we start to believe that our efforts don't matter at all anymore. This belief slowly becomes part of our mindset. It begins to shape how we behave, and in the end, it shapes the reality of our entire lives. But failure is not the only thing that causes passivity. In fact, a much more subtle cause is something we often see as a good thing: simple comfort. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to stay in a routine? This happens even if the routine doesn't bring you any joy. Our brains are built for safety. This instinct helped our ancestors stay alive. It made sure they avoided taking risks that were not necessary. But today, this instinct can work against our own goals. We become comfortable with what is familiar. We do this even when it is not what we truly want in life. This is the real danger of passivity. Days turn into weeks, and weeks turn into years. Before we know it, a huge part of our life has passed us by while we were just stuck. Passivity doesn't feel like a big threat. There are no loud alarms or warning signs. Instead, it works quietly, whispering in your ear, telling you to wait. It tells you there is still plenty of time. It says you can start tomorrow, or that you should wait for the perfect moment. But this is a lie. The hard truth is that there is no perfect moment. There is only right now. The longer you wait to take action, the harder it becomes to start. Now let's ask an even deeper question. What is the real price we pay for being passive? What happens when we let hesitation and inaction take over our lives? Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist who survived the Holocaust, offered a powerful answer. He wrote about it in his famous book, Man's Search for Meaning, an Inspiring Work. He argued that what drives people most is not pleasure or power. The primary human drive is the search for a deep sense of meaning in one's life. Frankl said that when people lack meaning, they drift through life. They feel empty and stuck in place. Nothing takes away meaning more quickly than being passive. Think about it for a moment. When was the last time you felt truly alive and full of energy? Was it when you were hesitating and avoiding a challenge? Or was it when you stepped out of your comfort zone? When you took a risk and went after something that was truly meaningful and important to you? The truth is that meaning is not found by waiting. It is something that you must create for yourself through your own determined and consistent actions every single day. But here is a question most people never think to ask. If being passive is so bad for us, why do we keep falling into this very same trap? Why do we stay stuck in our lives? Why do we do this even when we know that we should be moving forward and making some much-needed changes? The answer might surprise you. Once you finally understand it, your whole perspective will change. It will change how you see yourself and your potential for growth. Imagine you are at a crossroads. You know that taking action could change your life for the better. Yet you still find yourself hesitating, unable to take that step. You tell yourself that you need more time to think. You say the conditions are not quite right, or that you will definitely do it tomorrow. But tomorrow never comes. This is the invisible force of passivity at work. It's the hidden reason that so many people stay trapped in lives that do not truly make them feel happy. But why do we allow this to happen to us? What is the secret force that keeps us stuck in inaction, even when we know change is what we need? To understand this, we need to look at a concept known as the comfort trap. At first, being comfortable seems like a very good thing for all of us. After all, who doesn't want to feel safe and secure? But here is the paradox. The more comfortable you become, the less likely you are to take risks. Taking risks is necessary for personal growth. Comfort feels good right now, but it often costs you your long-term happiness and a sense of deep fulfillment. Have you ever stayed in a job you disliked? Maybe it was just easier than looking for a new one. This is the comfort trap holding you in place. Have you ever stayed in a relationship that wasn't happy? Perhaps the thought of changing your life felt too overwhelming. This is also the comfort trap at work. It convinces you that staying put is better than facing the unknown. But the biggest regrets in life are not our mistakes, but the chances we never took. Psychologists have found that our brains are built to avoid uncertainty. Our ancestors needed things to be predictable in order to survive the dangers of their world. But in our modern world, this instinct often works against us. Instead of protecting us from real danger, it just holds us back from finding new opportunities. Here is the harsh reality. No one ever became great by staying comfortable. Every successful person had to face discomfort, uncertainty, and their own deep-seated fears. The difference between those who succeed and those who get stuck isn't about intelligence or luck. It's about the willingness to act even when you feel afraid. This leads us to a very important question. How do you finally break free from the powerful grip of passivity? How do you stop waiting and start moving? One of the most powerful ways comes from Mel Robbins. She is a motivational speaker who created a simple but very effective technique called the 5-second rule. The rule is very simple to use. When you feel the urge to act on a goal, you just count down from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you physically move. Don't give your mind any time to hesitate. Don't let fear sneak in and stop you. You must take action before your own brain can talk you out of it. This technique works because it breaks the cycle of overthinking. It forces you to move from thinking into doing, which is where real progress is made. Another important strategy is to change your focus. Instead of focusing on motivation, you need to focus on building self-discipline. This is a much more reliable approach. Many people wait until they feel ready before they take action. But the truth is that motivation is not reliable. It comes and it goes without any warning. If you depend only on motivation, you will always struggle. Discipline, however, is what creates real and lasting change. It is the key to your long-term success. Discipline means doing what you need to do. You must do it even when you don't feel like it. It means making choices based on your goals, not your moods. James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, explains this perfectly. He says success is not about making huge changes all at once. It is about small, consistent actions. If you improve by just 1% every day, those small improvements will add up over time. They compound and eventually lead to some truly extraordinary and amazing results. The problem with passivity is that it works in the opposite way. Small moments of hesitation also compound, leading to a life filled with deep and lasting regret. But there's something that most people never consider. Passivity isn't just about the big life decisions. It shows up in very small ways every single day. It's the hesitation before you speak up in a meeting. It is the delay before you start your workout, or the endless scrolling on your phone instead of working. Every single moment of passivity reinforces the habit of inaction. This makes it even harder to change your behavior and break free from the cycle in the future. This is why self-awareness is so important. You must start to notice when and where passivity shows up in your own life. Be honest with yourself about it. Ask yourself what things you keep putting off. Where in your life are you letting fear or comfort make your choices for you? It is time for a change. What would your life look like if you stopped hesitating? What if you started acting on your goals? The difference could be absolutely massive over the next year. Before we get to the most powerful way to break free, there is one more thing you need to understand. It is something that keeps millions of people stuck. Once you finally realize what this is, you will never look at passivity in the same way again. There is a hidden force behind it that most people never see. This hidden force is not fear or laziness. It is something much more deceptive. It is a psychological barrier to action that we call identity paralysis. Identity paralysis is when you define yourself by your limits, not your potential. It is the belief that this is just who I am, or I've always been this way. When you believe your habits and personality can't change, then change feels impossible. You have already decided that you are not capable of becoming a different person. Think about it. If you see yourself as undisciplined, how likely are you to stick with a new habit? You will probably give up at the first sign of difficulty. If you believe you are not a natural leader, will you ever step up when confidence is needed? You will likely stay in the background, waiting for someone else. Your identity shapes your actions, and your actions will ultimately shape your future. This is why so many people remain stuck in a cycle of being passive. It's not because they can't change. It is because they don't truly believe that they can change. Their own mindset is what is holding them firmly in place. Psychologist Carol Dweck found that people have one of two mindsets. They either have a fixed mindset or they have what she calls growth mindset. People with a fixed mindset believe their skills and traits can't be changed. They avoid challenges because they are afraid that failure will expose their limitations to others. In contrast, those with a growth mindset believe they can improve. They can develop their skills through effort and learning. They are not afraid of challenges. They embrace challenges, knowing that failure is not a reflection of who they are. They see it as a stepping stone on the path to their own growth. Here is the key insight. Passivity thrives in a fixed mindset. If you believe your situation defines you, you will never take the action needed to change it. But the moment you shift to a growth mindset, passivity loses all of its power over you. You realize that every skill and trait can be developed. So, how do you make this important shift? How do you break free from the identity paralysis that is keeping you passive and stuck in your current situation? The answer is found in what is called identity-based action. James Clear explains that true change comes from changing how you see yourself, not just setting some goals. Instead of focusing on what you want to achieve, focus on who you want to become. If you want to be a confident person, start acting like one today. Every small action you take is like a vote for the person you are becoming. This is why action must come before you feel any sense of motivation. Most people wait to feel ready before they act. But the truth is that action itself is what creates the feeling of motivation. You must act first. There is another layer to this problem. Passivity is also about emotional resistance. Taking action can trigger deep feelings of discomfort, which we try hard to avoid. Maybe it is the fear of failure. Maybe it's the fear of being judged by others. Or maybe it is the fear of leaving your old self behind. Neuroscientists have found that the brain treats psychological threats just like physical threats. When you step out of your comfort zone, your brain senses danger and reacts strongly. This is why taking action often feels so hard. Your brain isn't trying to sabotage you. It is just trying to protect you from the unknown. But here is the key. You don't need to get rid of fear to take action. You just need to act anyway, even when you feel afraid. So, what is the ultimate way to break free? The answer is simple, but most people never realize it. It is to embrace what is called radical responsibility. Radical responsibility means you fully accept that your life is in your hands. There are no more excuses and no more blaming other people or your past circumstances. It means knowing that no one is coming to save you. Every choice you make or fail to make is shaping your future. This can be a hard truth, but it is also the most freeing truth you will ever learn. Once you take full responsibility, you get your power back. You stop waiting and start creating. But you don't need a perfect plan to start. Action creates clarity. It is not the other way around. You learn and adjust as you go along. Jeff Bezos of Amazon said if you wait for 100% certainty, you will always be too late. Make decisions with 70% of the information and then act on them. Don't let the fear of failure stop you. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a necessary part of it. It provides feedback and helps you learn. To put this all into action, stop waiting for motivation. Make action a habit. Redefine yourself as a person of action, and then prove it with your behavior. Lower the barrier to action by taking small, consistent steps. Make decisions faster to avoid overthinking. Your life rewards action, so what will you choose to do next?